and moves away from textbook material. See, educational landscape is a dynamic one, and every day we are seeing some or the other change happening around us. We try to keep abreast our teachers with regular teachers training programs. Teacher cannot teach how to move from rote learning to experiential learning. We'll have these sample papers and question papers called question banks coming up. They should be more child friendly. So consistency and hard work is the key to success.
Welcome to the official podcast of Rachna Sagar Private Limited with Bal Bharti Public School, Bridgeway. Today we are here with the principal of the school, Ms. Swapna Nair, a passionate and dynamic leader who aspires to impart quality education to the students. Hello ma'am, very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the podcast session ma'am. We feel really honored to have you here for this enriching discussion. It feels like having insight from straight heart of the school. Ma'am, I really want to have your thoughts on how students, teachers and even schools can adapt the changes that are coming in the educational landscape.
See, educational landscape is a dynamic one, and every day we are seeing some or the other change happening around us. We try to keep abreast our teachers with regular teachers training programs and also bringing in all the circulars and changes that have been brought about. So once the teachers are abreast with the changes, they will be able to inform the children about those changes. And similarly, teachers training helps the teachers to adjust well with the upcoming patterns and all, which helps them to cater to the changing scenario of the landscape, and it helps our children also to understand and adapt to the new changes.
Indeed ma'am. Ma'am, NCF and NEP policy, these are the two things that are changing major things that used to happen in the education system. So how should we cater to it?
See, the policies basically talk about child-centric education always. It has always been child-centric, and we always talk about the welfare of the children. So whenever we talk about what we should be adopting from a particular policy that comes in, should be the keeping in mind the welfare of the children. So in case you people have these sample papers and question papers called question banks coming up, they should be more child-friendly, and they should cater to the changing question paper patterns that are coming. So I think that a lot of revision, a lot of extra material to the children will definitely help them to do well in their exams.
Yes ma'am. Ma'am, we have always seen so many policies, so many things coming up, but there is some gap that has to be fixed, that has to be bridged by the teachers. So how a teacher can encourage a child to move from rote learning to the experiential learning?
See, a teacher cannot teach how to move from rote learning to experiential learning. It has to come out in the classrooms. The way the teacher interacts with the children, the way the teacher transacts the curriculum, the way the teacher is bringing in a particular topic in the class has to be framed in such a manner, has to be planned in such a manner that rote learning is not encouraged. It is all about encouraging rote learning. And if we help the children to be creative, and if we help the children to ask questions, they are always curious to ask questions. So if the teacher brings in that content of curiosity into the classroom and moves away from textbook material only, an extension to what she does in the class apart from the theoretical knowledge will definitely help us move from rote learning scenario to an experiential learning landscape.
So ma'am, in this way, should we also, Delhi schools should also adopt that U-shaped sitting arrangement, the one adopted by Kerala?
See, I myself belong to Kerala and I've been reading about it a lot. But see, that might be right with that particular school where they have done it. But when I talk of schools in general, one size doesn't fit everyone. So if I am teaching a subject, that arrangement might not be correct for me, while on the other hand, in case we are planning certain activities, then that might fit, you know. So it depends entirely on the subject, the curriculum that is being taught. So seating arrangement should be decided by the facilitator in the classroom depending upon the pedagogical approach that she takes. So I am for any kind of a seating arrangement, but the thing is that it should be child friendly. So children should have the mobility in the classroom. This is one, and secondly, the teacher should be able to reach out to each child. So any arrangement that facilitates this is good enough to go. So if it is U-shaped arrangement for a particular school, it can be a, you know, tabular arrangement for somebody else, or maybe a group discussion arrangement for some other, so round table for some other. So whichever fits the need of that classroom is good enough. But again, I'm telling you that every time we cannot keep changing the, you know, the seating arrangements, because we have very limited time in which the teacher interacts with the children. So yes, we also do it for certain activities, but then we are very mindful of the seating arrangements that are being changed. In case it is being changed for a day, then all the teachers should follow such a pedagogical approach that it fits to the needs of those classrooms.
The expertise just has reflected, because you know, you have really given me a very new and fresh perspective toward this sitting arrangement thing. Because I was thinking yes, it should be done, but yes, you are right in saying so that activities or some subjects may be a constraint to that particular sitting arrangement. That's good, ma'am. Ma'am, do you think that some books, some reference book, like if I talk about Together with Books particularly, so does they support the students' academics?
See, with the kind of question papers that we are getting these days, and the kind of higher order thinking skills that is expected out of the children, definitely extra reading material is required, and any extra reading material that gives an edge to the child is an on for all of us.
Ma'am, competency based learning, constructive response type of questions, we always used to do it. We have always attempted them in our exams. But now we have, you know, brought more of them. The policies have changed, the marking scheme has been revised and everything. So how a student should focus equally on both type of questions?
See, when I talk of focusing on all kinds of question, it is basically the typology of question that I'm talking about, the types of questions, yes, right? So when we talk of types of questions, if a child is clear about the concept, if the conceptual clarity is being made in the classroom, I think as a teacher, because I've been a teacher all through, so I think that if I'm conceptually clarifying something in the classroom, then my child is able to attempt all kind of questions. So yes, a child needs to be conceptually clear and revise as much as possible, and be consistent in his approach towards studies, and then he would be able to attempt any question for that matter.
Ma'am, any tip that a student, any board student or the students studying in any grade should and must adhere to you know, get the academic excellence?
Academic excellence is a perspective for holistic development. It is one of the parameters, but then yes, I would definitely like to say that any student who is attempting specifically the board classes should have a consistent approach and work hard and do all kinds of questions, and definitely previous year questions should be taken care of. The kind of, you know, the pattern of questions, the level of questions that have been asked in the previous levels should definitely be taken care of. So consistency and hard work is the key to success.
Ma'am, sample paper has been released by CBSE. Students, you know, the fear that was there, that how exam will look like, what sort of questions will be there. Now a blueprint of that particularly is there with the kids. So do you think that it will relieve some sort of exam stress among them?
Yes, once you're aware of, you know, a known fear is always better than an unknown. So if the child knows the kind of a pattern that is being expected out of him or her in a particular examination, then definitely it eases the stress of the examination. Examination is always a stress, but be it for students or be it for any age group, if you ask me to sit for an exam today, I will also be stressed and anxious. But then if I know the kind of, you know, the pattern of questions that would be asked, what kind of question paper I am going to attempt, probably it helps me in my preparations.
The psychological satisfaction.
Yes, yes. absolutely.
Ma'am, I would like to know a success story. You have been a teacher, you have just told me. I would like to know a success story your student must have gone through, or you have witnessed some story of a student.
See, it is always a new day for all of us, because all the students, if we have 3,000 children studying in our school, these are 3,000 stories every day. I might not be able to quote a particular story, but yes, if you say this was about this was the COVID time when we started online classes, and we had children who had the fear, because basically those who were appearing for the board classes that year, so they were anxious, and they wanted to know that how are they going to, because they felt that the kind of interaction that they get offline with the teacher will not be good enough for the online classes. But at that point in time, we did a lot of counseling sessions and one-on-one with the teacher and the student, which definitely helped that batch of grade 10 and grade 12 to do extremely well in their examination. So I think that the emotional support, the emotional connect that the teacher builds with the child definitely helps the child to come through anything.
Ma'am, we have witnessed a very different sort of a bond between a teacher and a student that was there pre-pandemic and that has become post-pandemic. So your say on that is?
We have, the children psychologically and emotionally have changed a lot. It is not only about children, it is about, all of us. They have very less of patience now. Their screen time has increased unknowingly, and their concentration span has gone down. So what I feel is, this is the time when the teacher's emotional connect with the child materializes into the child's holistic development. So if a teacher has an emotional connect with the child, then it becomes easy to nurture the child, be it emotionally, be it physically, be it mentally, or maybe socially. So every sphere, the teacher is acting as a counselor these days.
Yes. Ma'am, you are dealing with the very fresh sort of mindset who are very much tech savvy. So these Gen Z learners must have brought very different and new things to you. So how a teacher, how an educator standing right in the classroom should deal with these Gen Z learners?
See, children have always been curious to know things, and this generation, which is tech savvy, they are basically the digital, people, and they know everything about computers, gadgets, software, and everything. But we try and keep keep our teachers also abreast with the changes, and we have a lot of training sessions for the teachers. On the other hand, teachers are also learning a lot of new things from the children. So this is a point in time where teachers are also learners, and of course the children who are there, they are the ones who are far away, apart from, they know a lot more than what the teachers know. So they are basically trying to teach their teachers also. But then I feel that with all those trainings and all those sessions that we are conducting with the teachers, they have been able to do well, and they have been able to evolve themselves into, tech friendly people.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, NCRTs are more than enough. They are more than enough. They are the basic foundation of any class, any subject, any concept. But along with that, practice is also necessary. So we always come up with the fresh, updated content to help the learners so that they can get their desired results after practicing the right resource material. So right resource material, according to you, what should it have?
Right resource material should have all types of questions. This is one. Secondly, it should have the previous year's questions and patterns. Thirdly, it should involve the sample papers that are being released by the board recently, and they should have enough practice material. So these are the things that should be included in a practice sheet. So it should be one-stop solution for the children.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the right time for a student to start practicing the reference material?
After completion of the entire course. This is in the month of October we finished the course. This is one way of doing it, and the second way, see, children are different. Every child has different learning abilities and patterns. Yes. So some students do it along with their chapters. So they've completed one chapter, they'll do the reference material for that chapter. Completed the next chapter, then that is the ideal thing to do, because when it is fresh in your mind, you're able to solve those questions very easily. But on the other hand, there are some children who finish the entire course and then sit with the reference material. So both ways, whatever is the learning pattern is good enough. So it is always better to start early. So the children, those who focus on the extra material along with their own NCERT material, definitely do well in their board examination.
Ma'am, together with comes up with different series every year. Firstly, they come up with CBSE question bank, then they come up with previous year question banks. After that, the sample paper and it. So, what is the strategic approach we should adopt? Any educator or student should adopt to get the thing done academically, to become academically sound.
Again, the approach should be systematic. You are already bringing in the systematical material. So, and it should be brought to the notice of the children. It should be publicized in such a way that children know this is the material that is available to them. So, once it is systematically done, I think it will be easier for the children to get the material and practice the material.
Ma'am, your say on the students who are struggling for any concept. The experiential learning has taken the place. It is going in the very right direction. Educators are always on the pace. So student still struggles. If your student still struggles for a particular concept, then what is the best approach? They should leave it, or they should find different ways for adapting to that.
See, we always believe in differentiated learning and differentiated teaching in our classrooms. As I told you that every learner is different and the pattern of learning is different. Similarly, we focus on the kind of lesson plans where the teacher focuses on all kinds of learners. So in case a child is left behind with a particular concept, we have a lot of remedial classes happening. But a child who himself wants to clarify a particular topic, I would definitely say that you should not leave any topic. You should prepare those topics which are definitely your strengths first, and then you should move on to those topics which are little difficult. Take the help of the teacher, take the help of the extra material, and at least to try and go through it so that you are able to write something in the paper.
Yeah, it is important that they need to know what is coming to show what they know.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, 3 tips you would like to give to the board aspirants?
Okay, be relaxed, be consistent, and work hard. All the best to all of you.
Great, ma'am, great. It was really a very much interactive session with you, and it has given so many insight to the learners. You know the students inside out, you know their different level of learnings, their preferred learning styles, what they want, what they need, and when they need it. You really know that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was really a great session.
Thank you so much.